See what I did there? That was corny as fuck, but who cares? He reacts to May 1st. Dude, that would be brilliant. See, here's the thing. That was funny as fuck, Jason, but Sergeant Jason Bond. That would actually be a smart idea. Would Phil do that? No, his pride wouldn't let him, and he's an idiot. That would... What a way... Imagine his first stream is DSP reacts to May 1st. I'm not even saying this facetious. Facetiously, I think is the right term. Is that a word? I know facetious is a word. Like, that would be the funniest shit ever. I would do that. It would be gold. But will Phil? Absolutely not. He would shut down his channel first before he did that. Because he thinks fighting it for the rest of his life will make him not a low count. Hand jobs all around.
Hand jobs all around.
Yeah, because people like when you're in on Phil, we all fuck up. And if you laugh, it's not degrading. If you can laugh at yourself, people are like, all right, this guy's relatable. He's like me. He fucks up like me. I fuck up all the time, Phil. But like, you just want to, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. Like, it's his pride. He wouldn't be on a lolcow podcast where, like I said before, he'd be doing essentially what he's doing right here. But he's obsessed with his legacy, which I don't understand. Like, he's making it like he's going to win a Golden Globe one day. Phil, you stream video games. Like, you're not doing anything magical here, Phil. Okay? I'm not even gonna get a streamy. What is it like the fucking where the content creators? What do they get? A fucking Webby, a fisting, whatever it's called. I'm not even gonna get that shit. But you won't do it. That's another reason why he wouldn't be on the podcast, because you would get into controversial stuff, probably about themselves. He's not going to talk about any of that stuff. When he could stand on his soapbox and talk about his financial woes, which he still does. He stealth bags. Dude, you know this. That's fine. But when but because he can control the narrative of the personal stuff that he wants to talk about. It's the same. He's not. I hate using the comparison, and I always use it because it's accurate. And Phil's not as bad as Quantum TV, but Quantum TV does the same thing. He'll talk about a controversial topic or talk about whatever, partially to be a contrarian to get views, but he knows that there's no pushback. Phil likes that too. He's in his own little bubble with his pixel art behind him, and his now empty closet. And he could say whatever he wants to, and if anyone dislikes what he's saying, Kim Jong-Brunel could ban him. I just burped up the cauliflower chicken. It tastes like I literally have a whole piece of cauliflower in my mouth. I already did the hand jobs. Thank you, Brian. You can't choose your... Or did I? If not, I'll give it to you again.
Humping Steven Crowder. Hand jobs all around.
You can't choose your legacy society. Don't tell Phil that, though. He refuses to believe it. Phil Fuller will be known as the Fapper of the First. But the thing is, though, this punk guy, I'm sorry, I'll get to it in a second. Is it YouTube fixed the live chat on mobile? Well, thank Jesus, because a lot of I would say, like, a lot of you guys super chat from the app, from what you tell me. But let me look at Punk Guy first. I don't want to forget him, because if I don't answer him now, I will forget. Dude, I'm not seeing you.
You're awake.
Punk Guy, looking down again.
Whoa, easy there, easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now. Why don't you just relax?
But the thing is, Shala, if
get your bearings. Let's see what the damage is.
Embraced it and like made a joke out of it, it would actually succeed. You can move on from it. other YouTubers have moved on from more ridiculous things. Amazing Atheist, not going to go through the whole thing. Look it up if you want to find out what he did. He's like, yeah, that's what I did. You know, and that's it.
An opportunity for me to branch out, all right? I don't do stuff like this at all. All the content that I'm suggesting is
Yeah, I went back and looked, punk guy. I didn't see it there, bro.
going to be user...
It's what I'd have picked for you, but if that's your name, that's your name.
Ben Shapiro is a
I'm Doc
wordsmith, though.
Welcome.
He's a
good
word
speaker.
salad smith, but a
Now,
wordsmith.
I hope you
unless
don't
Phil is
mind,
not.
but I had to go
Irony is
rooting
that if
around
the Low
there
Cal
in your noggin for all
podcast
the
was
bits
named
of
Phil
lead
is a
out.
great podcast, he'd
I
sign
take
up and
pride in my
absolutely.
needlework.
We know he literally
You better
dismissed it.
tell
Yeah,
me
he
if I
admitted
left
that.
anything out
It's
of
not
the
even
pages.
speculation. He admitted that I'm not consider
I
me a
do.
low cal. Fuck you. He said you're a piece of dog shit. You're a human piece of dog shit. I'm like, what's a human piece of dog shit? Like, do you shove a piece of like dog shit up your ass and then the human shits it out? How does that work? But yeah, he straight up admitted it. Like, no way. I'm not like, dude, you're not disrespecting yourself. If you open Phil's closet, you'll see Dreamcast 5 violating bag discounted lettuce. Does it have carp in it too? Breasts and bubbles. That I can do.
Breasts.
Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles.
Yes, I still have the really annoying Phil sound. Would you like it? Here you go. Oof. God.
User submitted, all right? But it's going to be user submitted by channel members. So if you become a member of DSP Reacts, you are getting a tremendous amount of control and input on the channel. Members are going to be submitting videos for DSP versus the internet.
Okay. So now that I know this teeny tiny little speck of information, maybe he is a little bit
Well,
double
I got most
dipping.
of it right anyway. Stuff that matters. Okay. That seems keeping you in bed anymore. Let's see if we can get you on.
Like, I set sub goals on Twitch, but I don't
Good.
put a suggestion behind
Why
it.
don't
Hey,
you
well,
walk
some
down to the
suggestions
other
I just don't take.
over by that big
'Cause I'm like, nah, dude, I don't want to watch that.
Take it slow now.
Or you know what? Sometimes,
It ain't
honestly,
a race.
I'm not just saying that to brush people off. Like, yo, hit me up,
Look
and they're like,
good
oh, that's
so
actually a
far.
good idea. We'll watch that tomorrow.
Go ahead and
you
give
know,
the bigger tester a try.
But you
We'll
have to
run
be
right
a
quick if we
member
get
to
back all
even
your
send a
faculties.
request. Oh, Phil, that changes everything, dude. You are such a silly ass. Really?
Members are going to be voting on the long form reacts that I do. Here's the criteria of the kind of stuff that I want to react to. First of all, it can't be licensed music and content that's going to get me, you know, blocked, muted.
Oh, here we go. Copywritten music will get content ID. You lose all credit on the videos on YouTube. You don't make no money because of the music. It's been licensed, so you're fucked.
If you became a member, thank you. Head over to the community tab.
Yeah, but Phil, all right. Now, there's some things I have to say. Hey, Rich, we should watch this episode of
Well,
Cheers. It was
you
so
invited
funny.
me
Or
to it.
don't you think I would
But
love
that
to
don't
react to
mean the
Kitchen
bullet
fucking
didn't make
nightmares
it a big
every day, all
What do
day?
you say
Like,
you
maybe
take a
I'll
seat
try
on
it
my
once.
couch
Like, yo,
and
if
go through
if
the
who
West?
owns the rights to the
See if
NBC,
the
do
dogs
take
still bark.
every penny from the chat revenue. Or the, not the chat, no, do not take the chat revenue. Ad revenue.
All right. I'm gonna say a word. Dog.
I don't fucking care. You want the
Else.
ads, you can take all the
Night.
fucking ad revenue you want.
Bandit. Light.
But if they block the video or give me a copyright strike, which is stupid because when at least
Mother.
I can't get through, it takes me an hour
Okay.
and 10 minutes to get through a
First
15-minute video. I could say
Conflict
that's
just ain't in my
transformative.
nature.
Right now, post up videos for me to react to.
I ain't
and
given to
vote on that
relying
poll,
on others for
because
support.
Within a few, minutes of shout outs, me explaining
Oh yeah, I did play the
everything,
breasts and
doing
bubbles,
some
yes.
Q&A, I'm actually going to do some live reacting to videos that you members are posting up. Just to show you.
That's so weird. So you could react to them on, oh.
I'm always fixed.
Motherfucker, I forgot it today because I
I'm
got caught
slow
up doing
to
the
embrace-
iNeo Geek review. Hey Siri, set a
I
reminder
charge in to deal
for
with my
tomorrow
problem.
to set up
Almost
for
done
prank
here.
calls.
Okay.
Thank you. I gotta
Last
figure out where
one.
to do that too, because apparently on Twitch, even if it's like
What?
scam call centers, YouTube doesn't care if it's scam call centers. If I called like a real business, I would be in trouble on YouTube, which I would never do. But YouTube doesn't care if you're calling like some place trying to steal someone's life savings over in India. Twitch still considers that pranks, or considers that, I don't know, disrupting the peace. You know, how dare you let criminal organizations let them continue robbing people. Rich, stay in your lane. I want to get. Could someone get me in contact with him? Does anyone have like a contact to him? Kit Boga? I'd like to pick his brain. Because I need to. Dude, I have
Before I
so
turn
much.
you loose,
Dude,
I
I
need
do it
one
on
more
my
thing
own.
from you.
Like, when those
You got a
places
form
call
for
me,
you to fill
like this
out,
one
so I
place
get a
called,
sense
like,
of your
I told you
medical
guys
history.
recently saying they were going to
Just
shut
a
my lights off.
formality.
I was like, dude, just come
Ain't
on.
like
It's
a
dark in my
find
room.
you
Just
got
come over
family
and eat my
history of
ass.
getting shot in the head.
And the guy is like, yo, man, Holmes, I'm going to come there and pull up, man. Well, at least you used him, Adam. Rich, I used Steve to make my turkey burgers. It's turkey burgers, man. Sometimes they're delicious, and other times they're fucking... The meat has to be super, super fresh. And even sometimes getting it fresh. It still has a, like,
All right.
cannot
I
be
guess that
gamey in
about
the
does it.
slightest.
Come with
Turkey
me. I'll
for
see
some
you out.
reason is... Anyway. Yeah. So I have fun doing that shit on my own. Imagine doing that on live streams. It would be amazing. And someone saying Kit Boga does them there all the time? Alright. I'm doing it on there. It'll be the last show.
An example of how this whole thing's going. I'm sorry if you love watching, oh my god, live reaction to trailers. Live reaction
Yeah. This is another time he said it. I forgot.
to fucking E3. I'm totally not of that at all. I want to watch, when I watch content on the internet, alright, I want to watch someone who has formulated an intelligent opinion, who is not just making a video for the hype and for the money. I want to watch someone who's actually adding some kind of critical commentary, some kind of contribution based on their own personal experience or their knowledge of the industry.
This was a deep fake. Tevin made
Here,
the deep
these-
fake.
That's what
Well,
I
if
want,
you-
an intelligent
they call
video,
it a pit
intelligent
boy.
content.
Ain't-
Not, oh, E3, hype, oh yeah, oh, look at my face, look at my overreaction, give me monies.
And he just literally admitted, because of Critical, that he begs recently. I was just gonna watch the Amico tonight, but I was curious about this, and I'm so glad.
Look, someone who literally just sits here and says, I'm just
Yeah, like, what is he gonna watch? He ain't gonna watch anything he won't watch anything with any kind of copyrighted material with it. Like, I have limits. Like, again, I'm not gonna watch MTV. I wish I could watch. Maybe I'll watch Kitchen Nightmares on Twitch. Yeah, what was so amazing that was there? He said in another video he said he planned months for this. You plan months for something that's like, dude, I don't even come here with a plan. Can we watch DSP all week? Only if you come here and feed me a chicken salad. Richie test. You gotta come here. I want Caesar dressing on it. You get like they have like the Parmesan. It's like little slices that you put on there. That's nice with croutons. You need to toss it, the salad, the actual salad. And then you feed it. Put some chicken on there. Grill that chicken. That'd be a good salad. You want me to clap again, please? Absolutely.
Try to relax your anus. 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 Your shoulders.
Was that enough clapping for you? I just want to make sure. You're welcome. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the fact that you enjoy eating the sweet taste of ass. I appreciate that you will feed me a salad. I appreciate you as a person. Thank you, Rich Eats Ass. You have made my YouTube channel a better place. Was I doing talking? Rich, I have a PC. If I'm adding new RAM sticks, do they have to be similar model? You should always try to have, like, if you're buying 32 gigabytes, buy it at the same time, because apparently there could be issues with timing. There's Linus Tech Tip videos literally explaining why. Like, okay, you can get two different, like, I could have one Crucial memory stick and one Corsair memory stick, or whatever. First two names are popular. And even if they're the same RAM at the same speed, you may still have performance issues. Unless they've changed something the last time, but that is what I've read and heard and have watched.
You know, watch someone else's work all day.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. There you go, Serial Vapist. You're better off getting the Serial Vapist is saying the same thing. You're better off getting the same brand. But like I said, do your research. I haven't looked into that. I have to see your trolling levels, Rich Eats Ass. I don't mind what you say, dude. Whether you're trolling or fucking around. I like fucking around too. I know I watch Phil every day. I admit that I watch Phil every day. I think I understand why I watch Phil every day, but I do. I admit it. I am not titty fucking the fucking sausage. Here comes the applause again, Rich Eats Ass. Still have that sausage sealed in my fridge. It doesn't last until like fucking 2025. That's just a like that sausage with the, what is it? Actually, it's Carolina Reaper in there. What fucking bacteria is going near that thing? Some called my worker asking if we have anus when he meant Angus beef. Tried some. Oh, dude. I can't remember specifics, but people used to say that when I worked at a restaurant and I used to do the takeout part of the restaurant, people would call in and say like, yo, I want the chicken titty fuck sandwich. And I'm like, they didn't say that, but that's not too far off. And I'm like, and they weren't joking because they came by and got the order. And it was like an older woman. So she just didn't know what it was called. She was like, yeah, I'll take the chicken titty fuck sandwich. And I'm like, we have a lot of chicken items. Like, what? Who's fucking titties and eating chicken? Actually, might be a good combo. But you get my point. And I'm like, you want, what was it called? Alice Springs chicken? Do you want... Mark, like, there's 5,000 chicken dishes that we have, bitch. What do you want? So... Yeah, I've been there before. I'm not making it about me, but I could relate to that. And it's like, motherfucker, you want anus beef? What is anus beef? You mean Angus? You don't want anus beef. You don't. You don't want the ass meat.
That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just watch this video, and I'm just gonna talk over it. And I don't really have much to add. I'm gonna make a joke.
This is literally basically his same setup, which arguably looks better than the stupid fucking one light he has now.
Every once in a while, or have a reactionary face like, hey, stupid reaction or whatever.
Now he has a whole cat channel dedicated to it. And he said this on multiple occasions.
Right? I don't think that's...
Rich Eats Ass, do you understand? Are you still here? Do you understand? This man, months ago, said he would never make content like this. And then he said this was months in the making, thinking of a reaction channel, when he said in the same time frame that he thinks reacting is stupid.
Valid content, and I never have, and I've told you guys that over the years. That's why I don't want to do that. And everyone does it, by the way. Take a look at any content creator, from the smallest.
Yeah, fuck. He's not playing 4D chess. He's playing 5D chess. He's playing 7-dimensional chess. He has Andrew Tate in the background looking seductive at the camera while he's playing that 7D chess. There's literally a photo of, like, was it like his brother and some other dude sitting there playing chess, and he's just like looking at the camera. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Do people really fall? Yes, people do really fall for that shit.
To the small, to the biggest, to the big. When they have a day when they just don't want to do any work, they do a react video. Okay? It's called lazy.
Yesterday, can I be honest with all of you? I was nervous, man. You wanna know why I was nervous yesterday? Because it was the first time in some 7 years that I've actually launched anything technically new here on YouTube. Right? I've been doing.
Why don't you actually review something, Phil? I don't mean like just, 2010 it and just hold your phone and go around like this while you eat a sandwich. Why not do an actual review? I'm not saying that sarcastically. Try it. I want to react to TikTok. Why haven't I done TikTok? Why haven't I done... Oh, God, I am dense. Why haven't I done TikTok? Not tonight, but... Phil's scream? Like the meh, you mean, Jedi? Yeah, he would. That is true. What am I saying? He would spend... Who said that? The legend PB. He would spend a fucking hour, like, reviewing this thumb drive. Could you... Like, I have diarrhea. Like, I kind of went on the diarrhea of the mouth side with the Eye of Neo Geek today. And still forgot to give the exact specs of mine. Or did I? My editor will let me know. But, like, this is a 512 gigabyte thumbstick. It's actually pretty cool. It's tiny. Phil would talk about this thing for 3 hours. You'd be asleep. Like, alright. Now I'm done with the review. That was the, SanDisk 512 gigabyte thumb drive, and because Phil has no technical skill, by the end of the 3-hour review, here we go, Rich Eats Ass, you would know nothing about it. You would leave a Philip Burnell review just as uninformed as you walked into it. I'm not saying it to be mean, I'm just stating facts. Dude, you are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Holy fuck, Lewis, I'm coming. Oh, do I have a coming sound for Phil?
Oh, it hurts.
Hopefully he doesn't say that when he comes.
Videos and gameplay for 15 years. But the last time I launched anything new was KO Gaming back in 2016. And I'm happy with how KO Gaming went for sure, but it died off issues and everything. Now many years later,
signal gain and
dude,
enlarged
you had
the
a video
overflow
on there.
buffer system.
Gundam pointed
That
this
should
out
ensure
too.
100%
You had
connectivity and
fucking
control.
that.
Eddie,
What was that?
whenever
game
you're ready.
That like North Korea invaded us and it sucked.
Yes,
The sequel
success.
sucked too.
Great job, team.
Did he do it on the
Now let's start
sequel
on the
or the
proposal
first
for the
one?
full
Doesn't matter. Point being is that was a one time in his life he went viral and then he went on a fucking vacation. That's like me not doing a sequel to the fucking DKLD's video. What did it get? Like 400,000 views the first piece? Yeah, let me just stop doing those. Oh, Phil. Read my membership chat. You'll also come down there and come on the top up with me. Phil is just as flip-floppy as the quarter in regards to what he's standing. No. Phil, I gotta say, he does, in weird ways, have a moral compass. The quarter, like, I hate the quarter. I don't hate Phil. I know he hates me. I don't hate Phil. Phil's not a bad person. Lie about shit. He lacks self-awareness, absolutely. The quartering doesn't care. He's just concerned about he'll destroy the entire nation to fill his fucking pocket with money. Checked. I have an important question. Okay. How much for you to eat a butthole burger? What the fuck is a butthole burger? Potato. Thank you. Review the Freedom Phone. Can you even still buy that? Wasn't that like a crypto bro?
Things are much different, and for me to be kind of
And it's just the best is we were no prying eyes in this phone. The phone's fucking made in China with a reskinned version of Android. Yeah, freedom.
launching.
You have the freedom to give. I mean, China's already collecting our info. Don't get it twisted. But now China. If you bought a freedom phone, you just have them collecting your info on fucking speed dial. Damn, you got a platinum trophy? I don't know if I'll ever get a platinum.
Or I guess you could say relaunching a YouTube channel out of the blue as a surprise, which people didn't even expect.
From what I heard, Phil, people were, and I saw videos, people were telling, people absolutely expected this film.
Was daunting because I didn't know, number one, if I was going to be able to pull it off and have it work properly. Number two, there was no way to test it. The only way to test it would have been to launch it, which would have spoiled the surprise. Okay. The fact that it wasn't just exactly what you guys are expecting, but that it's going to be 3 new shows coming out now is exciting, right? There's a lot going on right now. So anyway, let's recap and summarize what's going on.
Very important question.
DSP Reacts. You can find it at youtube.com/@ or I guess it's the @ symbol like Twitter. DSP Reacts. Okay. What it's going to be.
You're bringing Frank into this, Insomniac?
Is my new channel for react style content, but also some other projects. There's basically 3 shows that I'm going to put up there, 2 of which are going to be right away, and 1 of which is more of a long-term show that I like to get.
All right, here are Phil already retconning member perks.
Show, and all I'm doing is watching clips you guys want. I can easily do that on the fly, so that's fine, you know. However, we got to be careful because there's the other thing. You got to be careful about what's submitted. No, I cannot watch. I absolutely cannot watch movie clips from recent movies. I can't. You know, basically what I'm thinking is, what I'm gonna have to do. And this is good because now the channel has been launched with. A lot of people were complaining.
Dr. Grant?
That either I didn't
What the
watch
hell do you think you're doing?
or I didn't watch enough of it.
There we
But
go.
you gotta understand.
I don't want to hear all the
Orders
same.
from Colonel
He's
Hall.
going to be long-winded and
It appears the
explain all the
eyeball
same
Jura's
shit
brain
again. I
project
don't need to
isn't
hear it all.
advancing quickly enough.
The show again
I'm
is
too.
supposed to be a clip show.
You
This
didn't
is
even
not me
disengage his
getting
damage
down
avoidance
to analyzing
protocols.
any particular
You're
video. That's not the
hurting
point of the
him.
show. It's supposed to be
Don't
going
be
around
ridiculous.
reacting to
It's
funny
just
stuff,
a
interesting
machine.
stuff, and giving you my
See
take
here,
quickly, and then we
I've
move on to
already
something
increased.
else. This is not
Get
an
the
in-depth
hell
show.
out of
This
here.
will lead into our
Fine,
second.
Ridley. It's
All
your
right, we
lab.
already saw this.
At least until I tell the Colonel about this.
Yeah, Phil, major announcement, huge announcement, big announcement.
That's me. And that's Tommy Tallarico, the Willy Wonka-obsessed cousin to rock legend Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
He'll let you know every 5 seconds. Listen, I was flying my DSP kite and the U.S. military shot it down. Yeah, dude, what's going on with that shit? It's so bizarre. Like, I'm not concerned about it, but it is strange.
Someone who's been in the video game industry for over 30 years, someone who's worked on over 250 games, including such titles as Earthworm Jim, Metroid Prime, and even Roblox. And as incredible as that sounds, it's not entirely true. It's a tough one. Is Tommy Tallarico a legendary figure? Yes, most definitely. Sadly, however,
I mean, yeah, he's done, look, he got his money somehow, but had he over-exaggerated it? And this is interesting. It's different than H-Bomber Guy. H-Bomber Guy went more into, like, just his history. This just solely focuses on different channels of Tommy's insanity.
However, he has been known to stretch the truth a little, excuse me, a lot, and one of those times was right here, to me, when I interviewed him, talking about his upcoming system, the Intellivision of Nico. A system that I was, sorry, excuse me again, I am still super intrigued by. Yes, it's underpowered. Yes, the games look cheap to some, but it had Tommy Tallarico behind it, the rock god of the video game industry. The problem was, as stated, he does stretch the truth. So when he spoke to me in an attempt to promote this still
Flat out lies.
to be released in television Amico video game system that some people look at as a crowdfunded project, I said to him that I would make a video on it if it fails.
I do get people ask me all the time, are you going to do a kick scammer episode on the Amico? Are you going to do a kick scammer episode on the Amico all the time?
I hope not.
Well, sorry Tommy, but that's what I'm going to be doing today.
If the console comes out and it's broken, all of those lies are actually, well, actually they were lies, you know, and it was, you know, then yes.
Tear me apart.
One day
The last almost 5 years has been painful for fans of Tommy Tallarico and in television. The list of things that have gone wrong during this time is endless, but before we get into all of that, we need to go back to the beginning and explain exactly what in television is, and more importantly, who Tommy Tallarico is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Amico Scandal. Welcome to Slope's Game Room.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, in television, it already had a very limited brand recognition anyway. But Tommy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on the Ellen Show, and I'm gonna be doing this. You're gonna see it all here." And it's like, for who? Why did you then just make a new product then and try to come out with something? You bought the name in television, but there's no really brand recognition left. It barely moves a blip on the fucking radar. Phil is bad, but yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying before. He's not. He's an idiot. He's not evil. Sorry, Jason.
Here we are, all the way back to the second generation of video game consoles, starting its life with the often forgotten Fairchild Video Entertainment System in 1976. This generation may technically be the second, but to many, it was the true beginning. You see, before we had the second generation of consoles, we had the first generation of consoles. But for all intents and purposes, these machines were simply Pong clones. 1972's Magnavox Odyssey is one of the standouts here, but again, it's pretty much just tennis, hockey, badminton, call it what you want. It's Pong.
And the thing is, you used to, with Odyssey, you would put overlays on the screen. They were all like, it wasn't even, you used to have to keep score with Pong. It didn't automatically do it. So you could put an overlay of what would look like a tennis field, or, yeah. And then, oh, I guess I could, like, yeah, it barely was a gaming console, but it was. It still was revolutionary.
With very few bells and whistles attached. So yeah, when you think of the
Got it as a kid, it sucked it, but what was amazing about that and the Pong clones was it was the first time you could interact with something on your TV. That's what made people lose their minds, because at that point, everything on your TV you just watched. You didn't control it. You didn't do anything. You just watch shows. Now, you can interact with things on your television. It was mind-blowing.
awesomeness that was the Super Nintendo to the N64 being mind-blowing. Just imagine going from Pong to Star Wars, or Pac-Man, or Yar's Revenge, or Pitfall. It's easy to laugh now if you wasn't around then, but this was a truly legendary jump in home console entertainment. Of course, it was the Atari 2600 that dominated the market back then, with titles like the ones I just mentioned. And it seems like they did this with ease. 30 million units got shifted, making them the true winner of this generation, but in second place...
Which 30 million units back then would be like 175 million units now. I'm not really... I just pulled those, but Like, the gaming industry was so much smaller back then. For Atari to get 30 million units in people's homes is mind-blowing, relatively speaking. Now it sounds like, you know, man, those would be mass sales figures. Hell, even for when into the 64 early, how many of that hit? Like 30-something million? That was considered disappointing. Back in the early 80s with Atari, around the Atari 2600, for them to get 30 million back then was insane. It was niche back then. So for them to sell, yeah, it's a good point. Who said that? J-Ram. It was a niche hobby, yeah. For them to hit that's pretty nuts for them to hit those numbers.
You had in
It wasn't just E.T. Bluntmore. Yeah, but this is definitely going to be a multi-part video. It wasn't just E.T. Bluntmore. It was just accumulation of bad quality games, and there was no regulation. There was no, like, the Nintendo seal of quality, nothing. It was just you had box art and a print. There was no internet. Like now, if you're like, oh, even if it's like an older game, you know, you could just look something up and be like, yeah, you know, this game came out last year, and we look up reviews or any, like, there's a billion different reviews. Back then, there was barely even magazines about the games back then. So you just had box art and a prayer. It's here, and it'll eventually be hooked back up sometime this week. Got to figure out if I just put a different hole in the desk, it's just going to come out.
in television at 3 million. Yeah, 10%. Now, in television was the brainchild of toy manufacturer Mattel. You know, Barbie, Hot Wheels, He-Man, and Diva Stars, all of the big names. And not to get into too much detail for this particular video, but of course Mattel wanted a piece of the pie. Eventually that pie was stuffed with some rather impressive technology, and by the time it was released in 1979, it did okay. Like I said, it did 10%.
Hey, you know what's funny is that, yeah, it was a 16-bit processor. It was a 16-bit processor, but it wasn't even, it wasn't even in megahertz. It was actually less than 1 megahertz. It was in kilohertz. They did the clock speed of the processor. They measured the clock speed of the processor.
The main marketing push for Intellivision was the fact that it was superior in power to the competition, and they wanted to make sure you knew this in their advertising, resulting in what many believe is the first true video game console war.
I compared Atari baseball with Intellivision and found Intellivision played much more like real baseball.
Fun fact, the Atari 2600 had a cut-down version of the Nintendo Entertainment System CPU. That had a 6502. The Atari had a 6507. What was cut down in it, whether it was the address bus or memory or whatever, or how much memory it could address, I think, was actually what the 6507, how it was cut down. But it was the same family as CPU.
Then I compared Atari football with Intellivision. Again, Intellivision played more like the real game.
How the fuck did I know that?
In my opinion, if you try them both, there's only one conclusion you can come to.
My dad told me about
Intellivision.
That's how I remember.
Mattel Electronics.
Atari may have the sales numbers and therefore could get the licenses such as Space Invaders, but for Intellivision, well, they had to get creative, getting their lawyers involved and making rip-offs that many believe are better than the competition. Fair play. But then you have the controllers.
Yeah.
Depending on who you speak to, this thing is looked at as incredible or terrible, with the majority of
I never really heard people saying it's a good controller.
the world leaning towards the latter. Instead of a directional pad or a control stick, you have a disc, and then on top of that, you also needed the overlay that would come with the game to slide over the numbered buttons to make each game unique. It was a weird way of doing things, but it did have a success to a degree, with several systems copying the overall idea of the controller before the
ColecoVision kind of did that too. ColecoVision controller was awful as well, but it was better than that fucking disc. At least it had some kind of joystick. 7800, they did the same thing where it had but they actually, after the NES came out, they came out with an NES-like controller for the 7800. 7800 that's actually a cool system to get because that was completely backwards compatible with the 2600 library. Yeah, they did. The Jaguar did too. That was such a bizarre thing to still have in like 1994.
The D-pad became the norm, and that was the end of that. For now. So yeah, in short, there's no denying who the overall winner was for this generation. But like the third generation that came in after, in the US, Nintendo absolutely dominated their competition with 34 million units compared to Sega's pitiful 2 million. But still, people love the underdog, and
what sucks is part of the reason that happened, you know, Nintendo had a chokehold on third-party developers. Wasn't it for at least a full year that they couldn't release a game, or maybe was it 5 years or 1 year? Something, I think it was 1 year. That a developer couldn't release the game for another platform. So even though the Master System had superior hardware, minus the sound, I think the sound chip on the Master System sucked, at least in the States. We didn't have the FM add-on, FM synthesis add-on. Yeah, you couldn't get it, like Konami couldn't bring Castlevania out for it. 2 years difference, that's pretty brutal. That's why you didn't see a lot of games get ported.
one definitely leaned towards Sega.
Yeah, the sound chip with the 7800 was the same one as the wanted to sound to have fuck were they thinking even back then?
Television was often touted as the big boys machine, or at least that's how they marketed it back then, and going by the brainwashing Sega did back in the 90s. If I was around back then, I probably would have been suckered in too. If I could afford one, that is. Just like Tommy Tallarico, a hardcore Intellivision fanboy that constantly in the almost 100 interviews I've had to sit through, brings up these simpler times playing baseball on his Intellivision with his dad and B-17 Bomber with other friends and family too. Now, of course, as time moved on, Tommy got older because that's how time works. And even though Intellivision was his baby, he would then go off to explore plenty of other computers and consoles throughout the years, as well as continuing to evolve in the music scene, which was another keen interest of his. Eventually, the story becomes very once upon a time, the sort of thing that would come out of a movie studio as opposed to any real-world experience. But it is what it is. This is how he tells it in the hundreds of interviews that ask about his history, and again, I've had to sit through for this video. And that story goes a little like this.
Alright, sexy.
As a 21-year-old young man, Tommy
I remember playing Bolton on the 7800.
he wants to make it on his own, just like his Italian grandparents did generations before him when they came to America. He waved goodbye to his close-knit family with $500 in his back pocket and $1,000 from his dad, and just like that Tenacious D movie, he made his way to Hollywood, which wasn't as clean-cut as he expected. That first night with nowhere to go and nobody to connect with, he slept under a pier and cried himself to sleep. Yeah, turns out Tommy didn't do too much pre-planning here, as apparently one of the...
I wonder how much of that story is true, though. You saw that story a million times. I still don't believe it.
First places he asked for directions to get to was Disneyland. Hey, look, it's a lot nicer than what was going on the streets, right? Thankfully, tomorrow turned out to be another day because, again, that's how time works. And on this new day, Tommy picked up a newspaper, saw an ad to work in a music shop. He went to the interview and instantly started work at said music shop selling guitar.
What are you talking about, Wood? Yeah, when you get a sleep when you catch, you get a green card. Hey, he's a U.S. citizen now, bless him.
and keyboards. But not really, because apparently the very first person to enter that shop was a guy called Seth Mendelsohn.
Yeah, I discovered him at a Guitar Center when I was buying some software, and you know, we were always looking for people.
Well, I appreciate it.
To be game testers and such, and so saw him there, and he was wearing a TurboGrafx shirt, and you know, he was into games, and you know, could tell he didn't want to be a Guitar Center salesman, and we got him a job as a QA guy, and then his career kind of left him in.
And this is where it all began. By the way, massive props to this guy, as he was one of the main game designers on the Mega Drive version, aka the better version, of Aladdin. Suck it, Nintendo. From here. Here, Tommy worked his way up the ranks from game tester to musician, working on over 300 games. Apparently, he was a part of the first truly successful video game TV show. He has numerous Guinness World Records to his name. He's mega rich by the looks of his crystal maze-like house, with every room being themed after random TV shows, movies, and who can forget the dinosaur in his garden.
Looks like dinosaur dick to me.
Really is one step down from Neverland, quite frankly. But hey, say what you want about his questionable decor, at least he is living his best life. Can we really take the piss when we replace our wallpaper with hammer beads and dusty video games? Let Tommy be Tommy. Anyway, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, guys, so let's go back to Intellivision. Ever since the crushing of Intellivision in the early 80s, thanks in no small part to the video game crash of 1983, very little came from the company. The Blue Sky Rangers...
I mean, you gotta remember, man, for some of you guys who were too... I was even too young. Like, I was like fucking 2 when the game industry crashed. I mean, you had dog food companies making Atari 2600 games that were like Pac-Man knockoffs. Like, it was just Wild West, and that's really what caused the video game crash. The Pac-Man and E.T. were just the cherry on the shit sundae that just made all the shit made the industry collapse.
A group of early game developers for Intellivision ended up continuing to create video games for the system for a small but still very dedicated group of individuals via mail order, and did so all the way through the 80s, creating new games and releasing never before released games from the company to the fans who went wild for this stuff. Again, to a very dedicated but small group of individuals. This wasn't
thing I ever played on the 2600. It was just like, that was really what made it bad. It's like, what the fuck am I even doing?
Just a simple case of, wow, look how impressive this game is considering the hardware. I mean, yes, that is part of it, but
that's actually a fun game.
These games were actually good too, for the most part. And because of this, the Blue Sky Rangers became serious legends, but again, to a small but dedicated group of individuals. However, by 1990, the writing was most definitely on the wall for INTV, the now owners of Intellivision. They went bankrupt, sold off the rest of their stock, and closed the doors.
Like Coleco, which sucked, man, the Coleco for its time too. Wait, that is a Z80 in it, which was the same processor that was in the Sega Master System. I mean, it didn't have the same capabilities as the graphics chip. ColecoVision 4.
That was until they opened them up again. The creation of the Blue Sky Rangers website in 1995 showed that nostalgia-filled peeps still wanted Intellivision goodies. And because of the rise in retro gaming popularity, Keith Robinson, a former Intellivision programmer, bought the rights in 1997, and over the next few years continued to pump out free downloads and retro collections for the fans to soak up in all of their glory. Again, the fan base was small and dedicated, but with the rise of retro gaming, more and more people were starting to notice in television, and they were getting the respect that they always deserved. And one of those people...
They tried... What the fuck is going on there? Yeah, they... No more bringing them back. Just let their old companies... They failed for a reason. I still want an Atari 7800. Which I'll probably buy... Oh, that actually make for an interesting video, maybe. No one would give a fuck about it, no. The only system I think people would be interested in is a Jaguar.
Was again Tommy Tallarico, the super sleeping video game composing live symphony world touring madman that again was sleeping under a pier earlier on in this very story. A true rags to riches story if ever I did hear one. Tommy had now become a part of so many different video game projects by this point, either directly or through his own company Tommy Tallarico Studios, so much so that he had become very good friends.
Eventually. Low listed, like, God, that item video should have been out, the geek video should have been out like 2 weeks ago. Oh, everything got fucked up because of COVID. Anyway, but it's done. I think it's a good video. Ray tracing on a handheld and the game with playable frame rate should blow your fucking mind. I had Custer's Revenge was years before I found out. Yeah, like games like that where Beat 'em and Eat 'em was a real game where you had dudes jerking their dicks on the top of a building and naked women with and the thing was, because the limited resolution, they had these big ass titties with these big ass nipples. And you have these dudes shooting cum from a rooftop, so they were beating their dicks and the women were eating it. That was gaming in 1980s, early 80s. No, it's staying above with Doom Eternal, 1920 by 1080, high settings, dynamic resolution on, admittedly. You could have ray tracing, and it'll stay above 30, no problem. With dynamic resolution on, that's the key. So it goes down sometimes 50%, but it's just amazing that a game with actual, and you see the difference. Like there's the first Kako Demon, or no, second one you deal with, and where it's kind of like in like a store where you're in the mall at the first level, and you kill it, and you go in that store, and there's blood on the floor, and you see the name of the store wall. And if you have ray tracing off, you just see like blur or the red puddle of blood. If you have ray tracing on the Aya Neo 2 or the Geek, whatever one, or anything with the 6800U, you actually see the reflection of the store's name and shit. So it's actually doing the light calculations. It's pretty crazy. Handheld integrated graphics, doing ray tracing at playable frame rates, but it's not ideal. Like I would keep ray tracing off in 99.9% of cases, but the fact that it's already a thing is pretty nuts. Like we're already at the point, like I have the RX that'll work. Where I upgraded it. The performance with that low-end RX 6400 is not that much better. Now, yes, the PC it's in, it's only PCI 3.0. And it's only a 4X card. I know I'm going off the rails for some people who don't understand all the technical stuff. So since it's on PCIe 3.0, it does knock it down like 9% in performance. But even still, there's not that much difference between integrated graphics with 1600 gig with RDNA2 graphics and that dedicated graphics. Eventually, there's just not going to be low-end unless you're looking to put your office machine like that. But even then, those are all going to be fucking E-way soon anyway, because it won't officially support Windows 11. And I just where the fuck am I? This see, at least there's a system though where the cream rises to the top. It's far from perfect, Jason. Wait, they have Hogwarts Legacy coming to Switch. Oh no. Oh yeah, it could run the INEO 2. It could run Hogwarts Legacy at high. I have FSR to performance, 1920 by 1080 high. If you want to turn FSR off, you could run it at like
with all of the right people at the company. It's been stated numerous times.
Yes, the eShop is shit. Who said that? Phil Cernell. Yes, I agree.
Times over the years.
Hey, Elsa, how are you?
Is that he and Keith would often get together and throw around the old idea ball and come up with ways to bring Intellivision back. But then they...
Oh yeah, the Macho Man's yes. I know it's coming native to Switch. I have to see how the fuck they do that. That Tegra X1 is just like, just fucking kill me. Just fucking kill me. But the sales are there, so they'll try. That's why I would like, back with the Wii U, they were like, oh, we can't get this game to work. We can't. Yeah, they couldn't get the games to work because the money wasn't there. Now, look at the Switch. That chip has no business running the games it's running, but because the money's there, where there's a will, there's a way. I gotta go piss. I'll be right back. Is Avi alive?
Try to relax your anus, your shoulders.
Breasts. Breasts.
Breasts.
Breasts. Breasts. Breasts.
Good.
Try to relax your anus.
DSP, I just got breaking news. DSP has a new channel coming out, and you'll never guess what he's doing. He's reacting to content.
Ah, hurts. And now I'm gonna masturbate. Ah, hurts. Ow!
They both go their separate ways, and then
I don't know who Patrick Warburton is.
nothing would ever come from this. Tommy would go off touring to hundreds of thousands of people live all around the world, partly funded by the good folks on...
See, I would love to do videos like this. The problem is dude, I would have to go like MIA for like 4 months. Like, even like the game, like the stuff I've been reviewing, I wouldn't be able to. There's things this company, B-Link, I love you. I'm trying to think of a way, because they sent me a computer a while back, but again, it got all fucked up. You would just, why do you think H-Bomber guy, like, I would have to do crowdfunding, and this is my crowdfunding. And I love the projects that I'm doing. I'm very happy with how my videos have been performing. So, I'm on the right trajectory. But this stuff, like, shout out to Slopes, man. Like, I'm very interested. I'll keep the questions for when comes on Twitch, I'll let you know exactly what it is. Like, this must have taken like at least 3 or 4 months. No fucking, there's no way if he told me it took him like a week, I'll be like, dude, you're full of shit. I don't believe you, unless you have like a team of people. Rich, can you tweet Tommy? And there's the re-roll. No. Avi, I have a super chat. It's very obviously a sample. One, Phil was never from New York. It's my editor put Phil's fat face in a template for New York license plate. It even says sample signature. So no one would be but yeah, he made that picture.
On Kickstarter 4 times. And then, of course, you have the collaboration with BT2, again, via Kickstarter. This dude knew how to crowdfund. In television, not so much. This is in television Gen 2 video games for PC and Mac, creating new versions of classic games such as...
There's a man. What the fuck is his name again? Can someone give me his name? That's the guy who was like, oh wow, this guy's criticizing me. Troll bothered him. Mike Kennedy. That's the dickhead who was like, oh wow, this guy's being negative about me. I should get his video struck down. Or strike his video down. We use proper English. Hi, Mike.
As Astro Smash, Shark, and Night Stalker. Not only did this look terrible with better content coming from Flash sites, but it didn't get funded. It only asked for $100,000, which really isn't that much for a legendary video game company like Intellivision, and it raised less than $7,000.
Even if this was in the early 2000s, who wants to be playing this shit?
Which, to be fair, is a good thing, as this dude right here is Mike Kennedy, arguably the godfather of crowdfunding video game console scam projects. But the Coleco...
I think I did mention the specs. Let me know if I did. It'll take 2 seconds to fucking say it. I don't know. I'm laughing. Listen, do me a favor before I get back to you. Gotta get some whipped cream. Okay? Get cool it because it's smoother. Put it on your chest. Have the cat lick it off your chest. Have your roommate get his diabetes brownies, throw them on your chest, then crumble them up, and he needs to eat them with his bare hands off of your chest. Then you're going to take a plane, fly down here, then you're going to go on the top of the you're going to shit on my chest while bagels burning on my stove and burning my house down. Thank you.
Go Chameleon, well, that's a story for another time. Scam artists aside for now, I'm not really...
Oh, yeah. This is me testing out the Coleco Chameleon. See, it works, I swear.
Sure what this campaign is all about. You don't get any physical copies of the games, it's the download-only codes, with most tiers shoehorning in Mike Kennedy's retro video game magazine. But worst of all, these video games already existed. For the most part. Astro Smash Gen 2 and Shark Gen 2 were on mobile, Vita and PlayStation 3 already as part of the PlayStation Home Arcade for $1.49 a pop a couple of years prior. Notice how only pictures of Night Stalker exist here? Yep, that's because they hadn't made that one yet. So basically, you're paying $100,000 for this. Let's be frank, one terrible looking game and some magazines. Yeah, it's crazy to say this, but Mike Kennedy's involvement in this thing may have just been the best part of this campaign, because, you know, that comes with the magazines. But the whole thing's a mess. Anyway.
Yeah, then he went on to do the Chameleon.
It's obviously a cash grab for all.
Dude, listen. I cannot yell, where's the shrimp? I'll have cops at my house. if I yell this strip in my backyard.
Involved that thankfully, turned into a failure, so nobody lost any money, including Keith Robinson, who sadly passed away 2 years later in 2017. People found out the tragic news from Intellivision's own Facebook page with the following message.
It is with overwhelming sadness that we let you know Keith Robinson passed away today of kidney failure and cardiac arrest. His health had been declining in the last few months, but this was nonetheless a shock. Please know that all of you Intellivision fans brought...
Oh god, you can hear him nasally with that fucking never-ending stuffy nose I have.
Immeasurable joy to his life. Thank you so much for that. If you have a favorite Intellivision or Keith memory or photo, we encourage you to share it here as a comment or a post to his page so that our whole community can remember him together. Hashtag Intellivision lives.
And that's exactly what people did. From seeing him at trade shows to old school friends talking about his mischievous antics at school, it was a sad time for retro gamers all around the world, and to many, this is the end of the story for Intellivision.
The real Intellivision. And then Tommy fucking took Dave's boy and dragged him through the fucking mud.
But sadly, that is definitely not the case. Because at Keith's funeral, life celebration as Tommy puts it, which took place between the end of June and the beginning of July 2017, he was feeling regret. Regret for never finding the time to work with Keith on that console idea that Tommy had pitched. Thankfully, he was in a room full of Intellivision employees, and therefore he decided to pitch it again. Right here at his funeral. Life celebration.
I actually, I reached out to the other people who were the shareholders, which again were all people who worked at Intellivision since the early 80s and after. And
No. Come on. He fucking pitched an Intellivision idea at that guy's funeral. Stop it.
said, what's going to happen to the company now? And they're like, gosh, Keith was the heart and soul, and I know he was talking to you and he wanted to bring you in. I said, look, I have a vision. I want to invite you all over my house to present you with my vision. And I basically laid out my vision for, basically what the machine has come. And they all loved it.
He also talks about this in greater detail over on Atari Age 2.
I was very good friends with Keith Robinson, and he approached me about 5 years ago asking...
Tommy's very good friends with everybody. He knows everybody. He's talked to every executive. His cousin is Steven Tyler. He'll let you know that in the first 5 minutes. He'll let you know he has an expensive car. He'll let you know his mom is very proud. But he knows fucking everybody.
If I would be interested in helping with Intellivision, being some kind of partner, etc. I said yes immediately and told him I...
Hey, Tommy, do you know Gabe Newell? Oh, yeah, I ate his ass once at a house party.
But there, you came. Good. Curious, maybe. You want the Mojave without a flag on your back. That'll end soon. Can't walk the long 15 and not have the nation's shadow fall on you.
I'm gonna end the stream.
Maybe you just need to be tested.
And then I'm going to send you the pug. You're going to feed the pug so she stops biting me. You're going to feed her peanut butter so she chooses peanut butter over biting me. Then you're going to get bagels. You're going to light your apartment on fire. And then your roommate's going to run out with the cats and the brownies. And then you're going to be starving on the street because your roommate won't let you eat the brownies. That's the story. That's the end. Thank you.
America sleeps ahead of you. It's nightmares.
Congratulations for coming on your phone.
I actually have a vision about what a new video...
Yeah, sure, Wes. Hold your breath for that 3 a.m.
No courier would
it be financially beneficial to me? Absolutely. Would it be beneficial to my mental health? No.
Console would be bringing families back together, simple, affordable games, etc. My idea mainly sparked from the fact that I can no longer play games with my mom and dad. Me and my dad would play all the time. But
this is
What I
another
offer is the last
Instead
I
of
offer
letting
you.
you just have diarrhea of the mouth.
I don't care
Why
if
can't
you walk the
Why can't you?
divide.
There's so many
Turn,
accessible
walk
games
the
on
Mojave.
the Switch and other.
Fight beneath the flags. But you will
I'm gonna
wonder
end after this part.
if you don't.
now we couldn't. I can't wait for the day that we can play together again. Keith loved the idea, and we started talking about how I could be part of the company. Then, when Keith suddenly passed away, I felt it was my mission to see this thing through if the other shareholders would allow me to. I reached out. I knew almost all of them already, and we actually...
Of course. Does he see the pattern with him? He knew all of them
We
already.
spoke about it more in depth at Keith's life celebration. I hate the word funeral, and the gathering wasn't like that at all. By the end of that year, we had a plan in place, and within months we started Intellivision Entertainment and moved all the Intellivision Productions assets into the new company. Someday we'll write a book or do a Netflix documentary special. Wouldn't that be something? Wink.
Wouldn't that be something indeed? Hopefully this video will suffice. Now, not to ruin the ending, but as of the beginning of 2023, this thing has still
God, Tommy has such delusions of grandeur.
never seen the light of day. For all intents and purposes, right now, it's vaporware. However, it's the journey that really matters, and it's a journey that even I got involved in. No. Not this time. This time, they took me for a ride. And in the process of doing so, actually ruined my reputation a little bit to many out there. And that's because I was a fan. I was genuinely a fan of this system when so many red flags were waving right in front of my face. So, how could I possibly do this video justice when I was involved? Well, there is only one way to do it, and that is to do it in a timelined manner. I'm going to be talking about the ups and downs, the positives and the negatives, and I'm going to start right here with the 20.
We are going to start that tomorrow. I have to go outside and pretend I'm yelling to get shrimp and talk about specs. All right, guys. If there is something interesting in the news, I'll talk about the news. If not, I'm probably going to be either filming this or the $40 graphics card, which is actually running this monitor right now. Because the 4090 PC is in a different room. So, I got some shit to do. I got to go find some shrimp. Anyway, guys, have a good one. And DSP is starting a channel that no one ever saw coming. He is doing DSP Reacts. It's shocking, it's new, it's original, and he had an incident on May 1st, 2016. Have a great night.